Welcome back to Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Cavs lost last night out west. It's funny that the Guardians and the Cavaliers were both playing in Los Angeles last night. The Cavs lost to the Lakers in a game that really didn't have much drama. Luka scored over 40, didn't he? And the Lakers
4 times
clinched.
Donovan Mitchell.
Yes, fact. The Lakers clinched the Pacific, too, last night. So they are guaranteed. What does that get them? At least like a top 6, right? No matter what?
Lakers?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the
division.
3 seed right now. They're pretty safely locked into that.
They're looking
spot.
good.
But
Boy,
last
that
night,
West is going to be tough, man.
Yeah, last night I got to ask, though. It was the first time we saw the 2 bigs together in a while in a game that didn't work. We're going to talk about that more in the YouTube show, but I thought Luka last night kind of exposed the Cavs' biggest weakness. And Chris, Dustin, Jay, I'm curious what you guys think. It is obviously an impossible task to stop Luka. One of the 3 best players in the entire world. But when you watch what Luka did last night, Chris, do you think it may have showed a little weakness in the Cavs' defensive strategy, that they still don't have a true lockdown, bona fide perimeter defender? They tried Strus, and it didn't go great.
Well, here's my first thing. Both teams coming off a back-to-back. Those are tough to do in the NBA. One guy wasn't coming off a back-to-back because he was suspended the game before.
Yep.
That was Luka Doncic. He dropped 46. He looked like he was much better rested than everybody else. But I read that Kenny Atkinson after the game said that they were trying something a little new, a little different defensive effort with the guys out there trying to blitz him a little more. And it obviously didn't work. You're going to experiment. Kenny likes to tinker with the defense a little bit. But to the point, Mike, that you were making, yeah, I think this has been their problem for a while, that they don't have a guy that can kind of lock down and take out those wing superstars like a Jason Tatum, like a Luka Doncic. And if you want to win the NBA title,
you better have somebody.
You're going to come against those guys. You better have somebody to lock them down.
Yeah, that is a weakness, and it was exposed again. Mike, I gave this theory a couple of weeks ago. I don't think anybody bought it. Not the first time I've floated a theory that was completely dismissed out of hand. I'm going to float it again, and I'm not saying that they're losing on purpose. I'm saying they're not playing with purpose. I don't see it. I don't feel it. They had the benefit of knowing that the Knicks had already lost when they took the floor. And that to me is important, because had the Cavs won last night against the Lakers, they would be tied for the 3 spot. And I'm not sure, do we know, Mike, who has the tiebreak between those two?
I believe the Knicks.
I thought it was the Knicks too. So the Cavs basically know that if you're projecting playoff matchups, and that can be very, very risky, do that at your own peril, because you got to get by your first round matchup first.
The Knicks do on the tiebreaker.
They do. I thought they did. So basically the Cavs kind of have a 2-game cushion with how many to play? 6?
There's 6 games left. Correct?
Okay. So I like that where they're currently sitting. I think that they are going to finish in the 4. As you look at that, a lot of winnable games. You got to kind of scoreboard watch and see what the Knicks are doing. If the Knicks win, it's okay to go out, put your pedal to the metal, and win. What you don't want to have happen, in my view, is fall below the Knicks into that 4 spot, because then you will get the Boston Celtics in the second round. And I know conventional wisdom says, look, if you want to go to the finals, and to me, anything less than an NBA Finals appearance this year is a failure. They went out and they traded for James Harden. They made the moves. They've had 2 terrible flameouts the last couple of years. You've got to make it to at least the Eastern Conference Finals. And I would think that, it's not unthinkable that they make it to the NBA Finals, but you better make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. You're going to have to play the Celtics at some point. I would rather play them in the final round, because you never know what the attrition rate can be on the Celtics. Maybe they suffer an injury. Maybe they get taken to 7 games. But you don't want to see the Celtics in the second round, because the narrative then becomes, I don't think they can beat the Celtics. If you have another second round flameout to the Celtics, you look at this roster and all the things they've done and said, what difference has any of it made? Yeah. They're still not around for the conference finals. So I'm not saying they're trying to lose on purpose. I'm just saying they're playing without purpose, and sometimes we know what that can lead to.
Couple things here. My first thought is I don't like the mentality of a team having in their mind that they're like not going to give the effort, or they're not going to play the right guys, or they're going to pull back on their starters so that they can sort of coast into the postseason. I don't love that idea.
I don't either.
So there's that. I'm with you, though, on the point of, like, I don't want to play the Celtics in the second round. Like, who does?
No.
I mean, they look
Let the
right
Knicks
now
play.
like a championship caliber team. And another reason I don't want to face them in the second round is I want to face them later in the playoffs. I want to see Jason Tatum after an Achilles have to play multiple series,
meaningful games
that matter, where he's got to play 35 minutes maybe. Who knows?
Against the Knicks,
right? Against a team that's going to be physical. I want to see that before I see him, in Cleveland against Cleveland.
Absolutely. I'm with you. I don't like the idea, especially with this team that has so much, like Jay said. You got to get past that second round. There's pressure on this team.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea that they are potentially jockeying like, oh, Knicks lost, we can lose. Oh, Knicks won, we better win. Now we have the green light. If you want to win a championship, you have to have that championship mentality. You have to go out. Every game matters. I think it's fun for us, and I think it's the right thing to be in that 4th seed and want to have the easier path. But I really hope, Kenny Atkinson and the players aren't going like, okay, scoreboard watch, what can we do tonight? Are we allowed to win?
Again, I don't think there's any conversation about, gentlemen, let's go out there and lose. I don't. But you can put your finger on the scale by how hard you're pushing to get the win. Are you calling timeouts with 57 seconds left when you're down by 6? Or are you just letting the clock go? And there's little things that you can do. And the coach will lead the way with that mentality. If Kenny heard this, he'd say, well, most people would say, I'm surprised that you're nuts. We're not doing that. I'm just trying to explain away losses that are otherwise hard to explain. And we've had a couple of those in the last month where I look at it and go, did we really lose that game? So
the other thing too, Jay, is that we haven't had Jared Allen healthy in the lineup, and so I kind of want to see what these guys can do. Like, this is a really nice opportunity for them to get some run before the playoffs with their lineup that they're going to be rolling out there.
I like that. I agree with that.
The new core four before last night. I'm not sure the numbers after last night.
Yeah.
Donovan, James, Mobley, and Allen had played a combined 36 minutes together before last night.
No kidding.
Wow. Yeah, it's not enough.
They need to get some runway under their belt to maximize.
They do.
The
I love your topic, and I'll tease this for the YouTube hour coming up at 11 o'clock. We're going to actually talk about something that I guess I hadn't thought a lot about, but we should be talking about, and that's the fact that Mobley's just coming off the best month of his career. The month before, Allen had the best month of his career, but what's interesting about that is they were doing it without one another. Mobley is allowed to shine when he's the only big out there, and Allen the same thing. Look at those numbers. But they weren't put up when they were both on the court for very much time at the same time. And we're going to talk about that in the YouTube hour. It's something fascinating, Mike, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on where you stand on that.